Twitter and the Instagram. One of the great Senator Tommy Tuberville. Senator, how are you, sir?
Good morning.
Great to talk to you. Listen, perfect timing here. We were just talking about Bo Schembechler's speech, the team. So we were talking about the difference between the first time Trump won in 2016 and came into office versus now. And back then it was the people he'd put around him, a lot of them were about me. And now it's all about team. There's nothing more important than the team. There's nothing more important than MAGA. There's nothing more important than this movement. It's not about me, it's about the team. Do you see that same thing with the guys that you've been with in his cabinet?
Oh, 100%. You know, President Trump, he got a job that he's very unfamiliar with, very good by himself, great leader, but you got to have a good team around him. And his assistant coaches have been running in and out of the Senate for the last couple of weeks, talking to senators and selling their side of the story. I'm all for every one of them. If President Trump wants them, we need to give him his team. And, I've been very, very impressed with every one of them.
Tell me about Kash Patel. You met with him the other day. What did you guys talk about?
You know, I've known Kash Patel about 5 years, and Kash is very smart. He's energetic. He's very into law enforcement. He's worked in the DOD. He's working for the DOJ. He understands it. He's traveled the world. He understands behind the scenes domestic problems. He will be perfect. He's exactly what we need. He is one of those guys that understands that we've got to get the trust back in the FBI. We don't need somebody to go in and be status quo. And he's going to shake it up. Now, he's not going to run people off that believe in our country and want to do the things by our Constitution. He is well spoken, and I tell you, he is ready to go, and we need him in the worst way.
I think they, whoever they is, hate him the most. Is that probably right?
Who's that?
Like the people on the left, media, all of them. I think that they're like most scared of Kash Patel. Is that probably right? Is there anyone else that stands out as the person they're most terrified of?
Well, we all know that they weaponized Merrick Garland and Christopher Wray and the CIA against all Republicans, not just you, and the IRS, by the way. But you're going to have Pam Bondi that's going to run the Attorney General office. That needs to be cleaned out also. Then, working hand in hand with Kash Patel, they're going to be a great duo. Hit the ground running because they understand everything that's happened. It's not like that they're walking in with just now open their eyes. Their eyes have been open to our weaponized Department of Justice. And again, as I've told them both of them, listen, your biggest deal is to get trust back to the American people, the people that run this country, the people that we speak to, that we represent. And they understand that very, very well.
Senator, you are a member of the greatest deliberative body in the world, the United States Senate, with halls purple, regal. You're not the ones, and the Senate prides itself in being ones that are not swayed by the passions of the people. You're this great deliberative body where the passions of the people go to be cooled and slowed down, and let's think more about this. You're not like those hooligans over in the House. Should we be worried that the MAGA movement is going to be slowed by the Senate?
Well, there's got to be a little concern out there because there's not a lot of love to President Trump by some of the people, even on the Republican side. Of course, the Democrats can't stand him because they are more progressive. They want to change our country to socialism and possibly even the communism. Is what we've seen in the last 4 years. We've got to get everybody on the same page. And as I tell my Senate colleagues, listen, President Trump was given a mandate. And we've got one senator that President Trump did not win that state, and that was Maine and Susan Collins. Everybody else got a mandate from the people of their state to do what Donald Trump wants to do to change this country back to a constitutional republic that believes in the rule of law, believes in borders, and get our debt in order. And so I'm hoping they speak for their constituents other than for themselves, because a lot of times up here people want to be relevant. And relevancy to me right now should go to the back burner. I am relevant only when it comes to Donald Trump wanting to get our country back on the right path to a capitalist country that believes in the rule of law.
You're so right about that relevancy. It's a lot of look at me. You know, I don't know what I'm going to do. keep asking me, and I'll let you know. It's like, get over yourself. But you get the headlines for it. You gave a speech the other day on the Senate floor about Biden voting to tax Social Security. That seems insane. We can stop that, right?
Yeah, President Trump, he ran on that. There's no reason for the American people that have paid into Social Security for 40, 50 years and get $2,000 a month after taxes. You can't pay your mortgage for $2,000 a month. I mean, it has been so big a scam. When I get up here, it's like a slush fund. The money comes flushing in from all the taxpayers, and it's nothing but a tax. The money should have gone into a savings account or a 401k where it was built over the years. But that's what's happened. That's what happens up here when people get a hold of other people's money, because they want to spend it. They want to be relevant. They want to show people, hey, look, this is how I can do things for you and your community and your state, instead of be stewards of the country and the people's money. We're definitely not that up here. We spent $7 trillion more in my 4 years here. Joe Biden and the Democrats voted for $7 trillion more money to be spent than what we bring in. And that is a crime within itself. And so we have got to get back to some sense of reality and understand that we cannot be paying entitlements to people. The fraud is just unbelievable. We can't audit the military right now. So they flunked 7 audits in 7 years. I mean, it is. If you ran a business like this, it would have been bankrupt and put under many, many years ago.
You got 45 seconds. You, former coach, we talked a lot about health, make America healthy again these last couple of days. What do you make of this movement?
Oh, I love it. My son's stuck in Troy 28 and 30, and last year about this time, I'm pushing my what do you think about the election, because I'm not pushing. Yeah, we really like RFK Jr. Our generation believes in healthy food, healthy lifestyle, and it was so good to see him come over to President Trump's side. That was one along with a lot of others, but one of the best moves that he made, getting him to come over, making him part of his cabinet, giving him an opportunity to straighten out this food, all these things we put in our food and make our country healthy again, because right now we're poisoning everybody in this country. Europe is 20 years ahead of us. It makes no sense. Europe is 20 years ahead of us on anything.
Senator Tommy Tuberville, Alabama Senator, thanks for showing me how the Senators the way. Grateful.
Thank you. God bless.
Keep it up. Slater at Breitbart.com, Slater Radio, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a wonderful day. Mike Slater, Breitbart News Journalist. Good morning.
Do you have a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more that you don't need? Well, don't lapse or surrender your policy. You might be sitting on a gold mine. That's right. You may be able to sell all or part of your life insurance policy to Coventry for cash, or a combination of cash and coverage with no future premiums, even a drug policy. Call Coventry Direct at 800-465-7600 or visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-465-7600. For over 25 years, we've helped thousands of people sell their policies. And we can probably help you too. Call us today at 800-465-7600 or visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-465-7600. Call now.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But DC politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing you to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and yours. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.
Hi, I'm Joe Burrow with JoeBurrow.com. We know many of you are searching for just that right pre-owned luxury vehicle. That's why I want to tell you about JoeBurrow.com. At JoeBurrow.com, you can browse our huge selection of curated luxury vehicles. JoePro.com is based in Chicago, but we ship cars all over the country. Check out JoePro.com. That's Joe Perillo, P-E-R-I-L-L-O, or now 312 BMW 1111. That's 312 BMW 1111. 312 BMW 1111.
Personal responsibility. We are
Series 16
Patriot.
Channel 125.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clarkstead in Washington. Time magazine has named Donald Trump its Person of the Year for 2024. It marks the second time the president-elect has received the recognition. He was also Person of the Year in 2016, the year he was first elected to the White House. President Biden is commuting hundreds of sentences and issuing more than 36 pardons in the waning days of his administration.
In an early morning announcement, President Biden is pardoning 39 people convicted of nonviolent crimes and commuting the sentences of nearly 1,500 who were released to home confinement during the pandemic. The White House says it's the largest single-day act of clemency in modern history. Biden also says he'll be taking more steps in the next 5.5 weeks before the Trump administration takes over. In a statement, the president says America was built on the promise of possibility and second chances, and that he has the great privilege of extending mercy to people who demonstrated remorse and rehabilitation. Jennifer King, Washington.
FBI Director Christopher Wray has decided to resign before Donald Trump takes office next month. He told bureau workers that he plans to step down in order to avoid political distractions.
My goal is to keep the focus on our mission, on the indispensable work each of you is doing every single day. And in my view, this is the best way to avoid dragging the Bureau deeper into the fray while reinforcing the values and principles that are so important in how we do our work.
Trump has named Kash Patel to lead the FBI. New York City's police commissioner says the gun found on the suspect in the killing of United Healthcare's CEO matches shell casings found at the crime scene. Luigi Mangione is jailed in Pennsylvania on charges. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The new administration has hinted at one of its boldest moves yet, America's return to the gold standard. Backing the U.S. dollar with gold would create stability in a time of rapid economic change, pushing the price of gold higher than we've seen in decades. Those who act now could be positioned to benefit the most. Premier Gold specializes in helping those with a 401k, IRA, or other types of retirement accounts utilize a little-known loophole to move some of their savings into physical gold. Today, they'd like to send you a free gold standard kit to help you decide if this process is right for you. Call 606-800-8000 to take advantage of current rollover policies. Early action on physical gold could position your portfolio for maximum growth. Call Premier Gold at 606-800-8000. Call 606-800-8000 now. Premier Gold is not a financial advisor. Please consult with your advisor before investing. Call 606-800-8000.
Two companies that had proposed a massive merger are now locked in a legal fight.
Albertsons is suing Kroger for failing to approve their proposed supermarket merger. The two companies are accusing each other of not doing enough to push their proposed alliance through, and Albertsons pulled out of a nearly $25 billion deal. The bitter breakup came the day after two judges issued injunctions to block the merger, saying it could reduce competition and harm consumers. Albertsons is now suing Kroger, asking for $600 million for a termination fee, as well as billions of dollars in legal fees and lost shareholder value. Kroger says the claims are baseless. I'm Haya Panjwani.
Wholesale inflation accelerated in November, another sign that some price pressures remain elevated. The government also reports that applications for jobless benefits jumped to their highest level in 2 months. News and analysis at townhall.com.
Truth is the authority. All right, first thing, bring your A game because I'll take nothing less. We're going to have an open and honest discussion, but the facts matter. Let's talk about the people. It's common sense. It's principles and policies that work for everybody. I just want to talk about how to fix this country. The Daily Web Show.
numerous national security issues. Look at what's going on around the world. Look at what just recently happened in Syria with the overthrow of Bashar al-Assad, a family that had ruled Syria as a brutal dictatorship since 1971. Recently and annually, they do have the Reagan Defense Forum, and Robert Wilkie, former VA secretary, of course someone with a lot of experience in military and at the Department of Defense, joins me now. Secretary Wilkie, great to have you here from the forum to the airwaves. There's a lot of challenges. There are a lot of challenges on the table, aren't there?
There sure are. But I think those challenges, David, and thank you for having me, are waiting for decisive leadership, which we certainly haven't had in the last 4 years.
So let's walk through first a recap of the forum, just so people understand what happens there.
Sure. The Reagan Defense Forum has been an annual feature really since the departure of President Reagan and the creation of the Reagan Library. It brings together defense leaders, congressional leaders, diplomats, leaders of industry to talk about the prevailing issues of the day in national security. And my topic was malign actors, meaning China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea, and what that election means for the future of the United States and the future of really the West. And that was my topic, but there were other topics like space, topics like trade. So it covered the entire gamut. But what was overall overarching all of it was the return of Donald Trump and the departure of business as usual.
What was the, and not general feeling, that's probably not the right way to put this, but what was the overall assessment of the changes? We see the reaction from world leaders. President Trump, President-elect Trump, recently went for the reopening of the cathedral in Paris, of the Notre Dame Cathedral, and other world leaders have weighed in. Recent news that there was an invitation to Xi Jinping to come to the inauguration, and we've seen world leaders positioning themselves, including, our neighbor to the north, Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau, who went to Palm Beach.
Right. Well, I just had the honor of speaking with 31 European Union ambassadors yesterday morning. And the impression that I took back is that they recognize that the change in leadership brings to them the President of the United States, who is steered by Vladimir Putin. And for them, that is a game changer. They've been buffeted by the weakness of the Biden administration. And I think that there's an understanding that President Trump, particularly given that the last time that Putin got out of line when President Trump was in office, 300 of his soldiers disappeared because they were too close to American troops. And that's the kind of leadership that the West is looking for. And it was refreshing for me to receive those messages from a gamut of diplomats who range from the social democratic left to the pro-Trump right in Europe, and it was quite a consensus.
I can add to that from the conservative movement in the UK and some of the leaders I've spoken to in recent week that there is a surge there of common sense over the policies of the left under Keir Starmer and others. So this will get very interesting. You have the UK Conservative leader, Kemi Badenoch, who has has actually made a recent trip to Washington, D.C. and met with the Vice President-elect J.D. Vance in a personal meeting, to be clear about that. But there is a lot on the table. By the way, the President-elect Trump right now speaking before ringing the New York Stock Exchange opening bell. And Robert, we've known each other a long time, so let's have a little fun with this. At least what I see is a little bit of fun. No comparison. He's Person of the Year under Time. I was a Person of the Year under Time, and I've also rung the opening bell. That's scary, but I will never be president.
Well, much to the law of the American people. So there.
All right. Well, let's go to something else. You are Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness, and a lot of the discussion, not only at the Reagan Defense Forum, but on the main stage on the news, is the readiness of our military and what needs to be done with an incoming administration. We have, of course, the Senate battles over nomination for Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense and other positions, Tulsi Gabbard and so on. But, readiness matters, and President Trump has been very clear about changes that need to be made in DOD policy under Joe Biden.
Right, and what we've seen under Joe Biden is not only the downward spiral defense spending to the lowest point that it has been since the administration of Calvin Coolidge, but we've also seen the destruction of what I call the military ethic, the position of the armed forces as a profession of arms.
Oh, I'm not seeing chat. Sorry, guys, I just turned it on. My other phone.
That is another job. And what do I do?
Hi, chat.
The Biden administration has destroyed.
I don't know why chat's not popping up.
Inclusivity, physical
there it is.
Standards required.
Sorry, guys.
They have engaged in political indoctrination, not only of the troops.
I'm here.
Uniformed officers to speak to political topics in a way that
I was like, what the fuck?
Generally been anathema to
cold enough today to be wearing a toque.
I mean, I didn't even know my father voted until I was adult and out of the home. Because
yeah, I'm ignoring you.
Soldiers believe they should behave in a constitutional republic.
I see you now.
To the Constitution, not to a political leader. So
Niners or Rams tonight?
Physical fitness training.
Not took.
We'll do the mundane things, production of things like artillery shells, precision guided ammunition, basic ammunition, replenish the budget.
Niners or Rams, huh?
I'll give you an example. In North Carolina, the 4th Fire Group, which was once commanded by Chuck Yeager, Fort Johnson Air Force Base, outside
that's a good one.
North Carolina.
I think the Niners are finally getting their shit together. The Rams been playing good, man, with Matthew Stafford. They just beat Buffalo, didn't they? Shanka? Yeah, that's the Russian name for it. I think today's only going to be the only cold day, though, and then start to warm back up again. Well, Elmer Fudd hats don't have fur on them.
My guest, Robert Wilkie, former Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness, and it's staying in that vein.
High in the 20s today.
Jobs,
it's 15 right now.
The question of technology, where we are.
Yeah, it's 15 degrees right now.
Our largest carrier, largest in the world, the Ford has launched the Ford classes next.
I got the heat blasted in the house, and we're only up to 67 degrees.
There in the Trump administration, when he highlighted the Indo-Pacific region, but around the world, the state of where we are today, the technology.
I think it's low 20s. It's the high today. Almost too cold to snow. We got a dusting last night. That was it. I was wondering what the fuck was going on. I actually get fired up my other phone. I was like, why am I not seeing chat? And I didn't realize it was in video only mode.
If you look at the casualty list that's coming out,
Yeah, they'll be fine.
the battlespeed looks very much like World War I. The Russians are losing 1,700 people a day. These even contiguous museums for relic things that came online when Stalin was alive. The other side of it is what you just described. The battlespeed getting was destroyed. The Russian flights were paladin.
Alright, let's turn this on.
Drones that operate in the air. They have told us that the new Trump administration, I think this will happen, will create a balance of force.
How was the bug inspection yesterday?
But also that high-tech advantage that will give us the ability to strike anywhere that we want to, and also put at risk everything China includes the water, Russia includes.
So the landlord literally has to be in your apartment every time there's somebody else there? That's weird.
High-tech in the military, particularly in undersea. But you mentioned the carrier, and I'm not speaking for Mr. Trump now, but I can only imagine us on the Swami to take a look at a $16 billion started off with 7 billion. $16 billion.
Yeah, they're fucking in there every other day.
And say, wait a minute.
I understand, like a periodic inspection or something like that, but Jesus, why has he got to be there every time somebody else is there? What the hell is this? Why the fuck is this cop stopped in the middle of the road? Is there a car stopped in front of him? Yep.
It is the product of Robert Jackson that came to the Pentagon from the assembly line of Ford in the 1950s. That's what I think we would see change, and I think we have the players in place to do
Why
that.
the hell is he stopped in the middle of the fucking
I
road?
look at the Middle East.
Oh, that bus, because his bus is stopped. Okay.
In many ways, a lot of the focus
Fucking wasting
has
2
been,
police cars.
rightfully so, for a year now on Israel's fight against Iran and their
I guess they're not doing
Syria, which ties into Russia, because in Tartus,
any road piracy while they're covering for that bus, so I guess that's a good thing.
that they have had since the Soviet Union. Russia pulled out, and in recent days, the Biden administration has targeted chemical weapons facilities or suspected. So there's a lot going on in Syria, and that, of course, is a concern regionally because of who's coming in. You have a newly remarketed HST, which was Jabhat al-Nusra, an al-Qaeda affiliate, and other groups working together. So celebrating the end of a dictatorship, but concerns should exist.
Yeah, coffee's good.
I've visited those camps in Turkey. If it goes the wrong way, it will be flooded with millions of more refugees. However, we have a couple of opportunities here. One is President Kurds, who
Yeah, it's warm in here now.
They can take care of their own internal disagreements, would be a huge player in this. The Israelis have pointed out that
Be busy today, but I still plan on. Oh, what's this shit?
redevelopment, redeployment.
Still plan on streaming from the desktop. I think I'll just stream the scanner mostly.
So we have an opportunity there. But the
Heck
big
is
issue
this?
now for President Trump is that everything that he did
Fuck? Oh, it's a red light.
when it came to
One of those
the real balance act.
Temporary ones. Video surveillance. Stop here.
has been shown to be true. I think
Oh, you got video cameras on these damn things?
the regional influence on October 7th. Since then, the President Benjamin Netanyahu, by the way, we talked about it, has ignored every warning Joe Biden, Harris, and Sullivan, and Blinken given him not to take
All right, they're stopped down there. So these things are basically replacing flagmen, huh?
Benjamin Netanyahu has set
I'm cameraing you. What the hell are they doing here? Oh, replacing them poles.
the Syrian regime is gone, Hezbollah is about gone.
I don't see it. Oh yeah, there's cameras on
The
there.
so-called axis of resistance has been obliterated. And now the Iranians know that Netanyahu can strike them anytime, anywhere. He's proven it. And what I expect Donald Trump to do, in order to finally topple this malign regime, the world's leading sponsor of terror, is to employ the maximum sanction pressure that we had the last time. Remember, when Donald Trump left office, the Iranians only had $5 billion in their treasury. Joe Biden handed them hundreds of billions of dollars in taxpayer money. The last thing I will say, as Iran weakens, and Russia weakens, because they will weaken once America turns on its energy spigots. That weakens China. The opportunities for China to create mischief go down exponentially when Iran and Russia are removed.
You're welcome anytime.
My guest, Robert Wilkie, former VA Secretary, former Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness. And if I read the entire bio, we would need another 10 minutes just to get through it. It's really great to have you here, Robert, to look at this matrix of challenges that are coming. And, of course, the interests of our opponents for another time. As we have talked about in the past, we need to have that perspective. As you talk about, you've been to some of these areas, you know what's going on there. And we as Americans, I think more than ever, and possibly since Reagan's time during the Cold War against the Soviet Union, primarily, is a time when national security, domestic defense, align, intersect, overlap in so many ways.
Oh, absolutely. We haven't talked about the southern border. I mean, the prime directive for any president of the United States is to protect the borders of his country, which, of course, Joe Biden and Barack Obama did not do. And I think you will see a great movement on that front. And an assault on the flood of fentanyl coming into this country. Their economy is built on a house of cards because people, that weakening Iran, weakening Russia, really weakens the Chinese. I think Xi understands that. He will be very sad on January 20th when Joe Biden departs.
Robert Wilkie, who also served as Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel Readiness, former VA Secretary, among many others, and still serving our country. Robert, thank you.
All right, y'all.
I always appreciate
See you in a bit.
input.
I'll try and get it going as soon as I can. A lot of shit going on today, though. So you'll be watching whatever's playing in the background. Peace. Love you guys.
Thank you, sir. 866-95-PATRIOT.